2 squared 5, you're going to get a number greater than 1. Anytime you get a mole fraction greater than 1, that is not your mole fraction.
Hello, everybody. I hope you guys are having a good day, Saturday so far. So we could start out with saying welcome to the stream and let me know what you guys are reading today. Hello, Megan. Hello, Charles. Nice to see you. Oh, that sounds like so much fun, huh? Not just in a demon. That sounds like so much fun. Meaning of happiness by Alan Watts. Okay. Sounds like they're very different spectrums. Very good. I like different having different things to read. I'm going to be reading, trying to get some more done on Great Expectations because I'm filming a video about it in my thoughts, so I need to get more of it read. It's been a very busy week at work, trying to get as much time to read as I thought, but I'm a little over halfway done, so I'm hopefully get some progress. And if I get tired of that, just don't want to read this anymore, I'll read my fantasy book, which is Bitter Twins. I'm over halfway through with that one too, so I will read that by Jen Williams. All right. Excuse me, my voice is terrible. Is there any specific amount of time that you guys want today? Like 20 minutes, 10 minutes, 15 minutes to read, and then we can talk about it? I did not get a chance to do any changes as far as like how to put up the timer and all that stuff on here. It requires me to learn a software that I haven't had time to learn yet. But I will put on a 20-minute timer, and then on my phone, and we can do it the way we did last time. I'm so sorry. I'm going to try this week to really buckle down and do that. I just haven't had a lot of time. All right, 20 minutes. Sounds good. All right, I will put in the timer. Okay. 20 minutes has started. I will give you guys a 1 minute warning before it goes off. All right, and let's read.
The rates and the masses are being reverse order because it is an inverse relationship. On the right side, so 498, yeah, that's not right. So notice that that's a rate, and the rate that is given right here is milliliters per minute. What would be rate here would be the rate, as long as they're the same. That they changed it so that they were asking for it was the answer milliliters per second. So we have to change it to the previous one was given as milliliters per minute. The rate, that rate ratio, they're just gonna have that same ratio, whatever the actual are. Like my round is 1.28, so it was like 1.275 on mine. And that's because I actually, I did not round the, sulfur dioxide to 64.2. I just left it at 64. That way I did 16 over 64 is just 1/4, because it's 1/4 is 1/2. So I actually did it as a different rounding method. It was what you- Alright. So those are your equations for those. And we'll put any other questions? And this is usually about the end of the gas law stuff, unless you guys do go into more detail over the non-idea tax. Usually, it goes, let's see, will be more of a conceptual thing. They're usually do a lot of things about, okay, we compare two gases, what will be the change in the properties of these gases if we, remove our assumption of ideal gas law. There'll be things like, things that, react together, rather have a, stronger attraction to each other. So, for example, water. Water is an ideal gas because water forms strong hydrogen bonds. So there's much greater attraction between the water molecules versus, say, the attraction between some helium molecules. So helium will act very much like an ideal gas, whereas water will actually end up taking up a little bit less volume than the equivalent that you would expect. And that's because the particles are attracted to each other more, so they're going to come together a little bit less than you expected in an ideal gas.
I'm very glad to hear that, Shira. I hope you're liking it.
There are
I enjoyed it. I thought it was so much fun.
as well. That will give you the difference there. The deviation from ideal. But we'll get to that. You guys will do it. Sometimes it's not.
It's probably LJ tutoring because he was supposed to be done by now. All right, we have about 53 seconds left. All right. So, what did you guys think about what you were reading so far? I got another 10 pages or so, not a whole lot, but another 10 pages or so. And of course, we're getting into the part where, the great expectations are not being met and Pip is digging himself into a hole in London, pretty much. So, interesting to see. And the friends of his past who he kind of left behind are not too happy with him. Things like that that's been going on. So, interesting, kind of what I expected. It wasn't anything like groundbreaking to me because I'm expecting that, but good. I think Dickens' prose is a little bit better than I was expecting. Actually, I thought it would be a little more dry, but some of his prose are actually pretty good. So, interesting. So that is fun to get a different take on things. Yeah, definitely. I like to see where the anime and the manga are different. So sometimes I'd rather read the manga first and then watch the anime, and sometimes it's just as fun to watch the anime first and then read the manga because a lot of the time there's changes you can see either way. So that's fun. Yeah. I started reading Yona, and then I started reading like Vagabond, and I'm in the middle of Vinland Saga. Hi, Koka. Vinland Saga. So it's been like I've been reading the middle of a whole bunch of different things, reading them, and I haven't gone back to them yet, but I need to. I need to go back to them. They're good. They're so much fun. I like reading manga. Shira, yeah, Vagabond is really good. I really like it. It's very Buddhist ideals. I really like it. It's based on, um, yeah, it's based on some Japanese history. Things like that. So it's really good. Let's see, Shira, did you have anything to add about the book you were reading? Because I know it's a book I've read and I really enjoyed it. So I was wondering if you were enjoying it. Oh yeah, the intersectionality of some like psychology and ideas are really cool to see, like where they connect and where they disconnect, like where they aren't very similar. That's really cool to look at. And happiness is one of those things to where we got to define for ourselves. What do we want out of life? What is happiness for us? Because it's going to be different. Nobody's idea of happiness is the same. That's why in marriages and stuff, you have to think about like what you think is a happy marriage may not necessarily be what the other person thinks is exactly a happy marriage. So you have to talk about that, communicate. That's really cool to see that. Oh yeah, that is that is a little. It's cool to see what they were thinking in the 1940s, but it might be a little dated. Yeah, definitely. All right. Anybody else have anything they want to chat about their book? Any questions you guys have for me about my book? What I'm reading? Or about what I've been reading before we decide if we want to do another sprint? How does it meet my expectations? That's a good question. It actually has exceeded my expectations. My expectations for Dickens, to be honest, unless it's A Christmas Carol, is pretty low. I am not the biggest show me the darkest underbellies of Victorian London person to per se, so some of his stuff is a little on the nose for me. But um, I think The Great Expectations has a good story, has good progression, where it's not just on the nose, just lecture. It's more about society. It's actually a good story and progression of characters, and so it's pretty good. And I do not know what Streamlabs is doing, so please ignore that. I think I was working with that software I was practicing with to make the streams better, and it has a life of its own now. So please ignore that. All right. So I was wondering, do we want to do another 20-minute sprint and then talk about it and then call it, or are we good? Do you guys kind of need to go now? That is up to you guys. You guys give me a in the chat what you guys like to do. We don't these don't sprints don't have to be that long if you don't want them to be. It's up to you guys. Okay, another 20 minutes from one from okay. All right. So another 20 minutes on the clock. Let's see if I can get more than 10 pages done this time in 20 minutes. I don't know. I'm reading this very slowly because I'm making notes. So it's driving me crazy because I keep wanting to speed through it. It's like, nope, nope, nope. And you also want to see what this book has done? This is my highlighter, a brand new highlighter just last week. And it's done. It is done. And I gotta use another one. All right, 20 more minutes. Put it on the clock. Then we'll be done. All right, time has been started. Okay. Okay, we have about a little under a minute left. All right, time is up. So, what did you guys think about what you read so far? Let me know, like, how far you got in your book and what you plan to read next. How far you want to go next time. What you thought? Your thoughts? As for me, I got to page 298, and it's very interesting because it's a character that I didn't really care for at the very beginning of the book. Now I'm really starting to feel much more interested in them. It seems like they have much more of a way to fight back on things in their own way that I kind of relate to as someone who had people in their life that tried to control them, and so I could find my own way of kind of fighting back against that. So I kind of really started to latch on to that in this part. So it's like I'm enjoying that. And it's a character I did not think I was going to like. So it's interesting. Oh yeah. Sometimes rereading can be very good when it comes to like these are a book that has a lot of great quotes, things to think about. Yeah, rereading really helps because you can kind of pick and choose what you're going to latch onto that reread. Yeah, yeah, maybe I can understand that. Where in the manga, if you're used to, if it's not, hopefully the manga will have more in there about those characters that you can latch onto. So yeah, it's good. I hope you do. I hope you get to enjoy them. It's nothing worse than having a manga where you really like some aspects and then they add in a whole new arc or a whole new set of characters, and you're like, I don't like this. But I liked what was going on before. Why can't they get back to that? Yeah, that's always disappointing. As I said, I didn't really. The character of Stella is the character I'm talking about, and is Stella, and she's a character that's introduced very early on in the book, and I didn't really like her whenever they introduced her very much. She was very kind of a cruel character. She wasn't very likable, and she's still not very likable, but she's doing things now that are interesting. She's uh, fighting it back against who made her that way, and I think that was very interesting. I thought that was very fun to see that, to see the emotional abuse kind of circle back around, kind of like, huh, yeah, that's what happens. Yeah, yeah, it's got more philosophy, right? Kind of ideas is what your book is about. So, what are some of the ideas that you really liked? Give me a favorite quote so far of what you've read. Oh, that's very interesting. Yeah, I like that. It's kind of like the whole like if you don't have the rain, then you can't have. the flowers type of thing, where that type of idea. Yeah. It's an old idea, and it's something that we sometimes forget, that we have to go through hard things in life to really appreciate the good, and to sometimes get the strength to overcome bad things when they happen in the future. Like that's why children who have very sheltered lives in the beginning of their life have a hard time becoming resilient, but children who have a very tough time in the beginning sometimes become more resilient. And it also depends on your personality type, right? Like everyone has different personality types, and some personality types are more resilient in different situations than others. Like some personality types, they have these rough beginnings and they thrive from learning from those. And that's, a lot of personality types that I know. And then there's some personality types where it makes them bitter. It doesn't help them, it doesn't make them resilient. It just makes them worse, and it makes them really become awful people. So it just depends on. Yeah, I know it's kind of an oversimplification, just so we can talk about it sometimes. There's always more than to be grasped out of it. It is a very, very interesting concept. I agree. I mean, 'cause it's hard to really determine who's going to be resilient and who's not, because like everyone's different. Everybody has their own, mental health issues. Everyone has their own mental, their own emotional stamina and strength, and pros and cons of their personalities that work together or don't. And it's really different, interesting to learn about. I know I'm just rambling now, but yeah, but that's true. Oh, that's cool. I like when authors do that, when they tell you that I'm using these terms because I don't have anything better, but it doesn't, it oversimple, like pointing out that it's still not adequate, it still oversimplifies it, but we just don't have a term that's better right now. I like that too. Because it shows that they're thinking more deeply about it, that they're acknowledging that there's more to learn. That's good. I like that. I mean, that they're very open minded. That is true. So how are we guys feeling? Do you guys have any other questions for me as far as my book goes, or anything? Any questions about the stream? Questions about anything? Okay, that's a good question. The only other work I've actually read by Charles Dickens is the A Christmas Carol, and I did enjoy that. But I'll be completely honest, I got much more enjoyment out of watching the Muppets Christmas Carol. But that's just the '80s kid coming out of me. But yes, I did enjoy that one. But I have read excerpts, of course, like in middle school and stuff like that, where you had to read excerpts of Oliver Twist and Tale of Two Cities, right? And I didn't remember enjoying those very much. And the language didn't seem as approachable as it is in this. Me too. I love that. I love Muppet Christmas Carol. But the language wasn't as approachable in those clips that I remember as it is approachable in this, which is why I always kind of shied away from Dickens. And so I'm like, I don't know, I don't like that. But the language in this one is actually very approachable. This is why it's a very good Dickens to start with after A Christmas Carol. Christmas Carol is pretty approachable too, because it's a story we all know and it's easy to follow and it's short. So yeah, I would suggest when starting with Dickens, starting with A Christmas Carol, and then if you want a longer novel, to start with that. It's very much that novel story plot format that is pretty approachable, and the language is very approachable as well. More approachable than I thought it would be. That's a good question. Anything else? Oh, do we want to go more? Do we want to go another 20 minutes? Are we feeling it, or do you guys have to go and do some other stuff? I know we have everyone here that is here is people I know and can be playing D&D with later. So do we need to go and do some stuff before we play D&D, or do we want to go another 20 minutes? I'm good either way, guys. What do you guys want to do? If you're feeling the reading bug and you want to read, we can do it. If you don't, yeah, I figured that you might want to eat before you get some lunch. All right. So we'll, if you guys are okay with it, we'll try to do this again next week. And that's okay. As I said, next week we'll do it again. 11 o'clock. Maybe we'll do 11:30 to give LJ a little bit of breathing room. We'll do 11:30 because I forgot that he had tutoring until 11. So 11:30, and we will see if we can try to go until 1:30. That gives us some time to talk, some time to talk about what we're reading, and at least 3 20-minute sprints if that sounds good. Like 11:30 to like 1:30, something like that. We'll see what we do. We can go as far until we just feel like I'm done. Okay. Right. I mean, thank you guys for coming. It was so much fun. That's great. And so we'll do that and bring when we come back next week. And if you finish the book that you're reading now, please update us when you come back, because I really, really, you're welcome. I really want to know like what you guys thought about the books that you're reading that you've introduced to us. So that'd be great. All right. I will see you guys this afternoon. See you in a bit. Have a good day. Bye, everybody.